Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're having pizza for tea, and I was just getting the ingredients ready for the toppings, and I thought I would show you a function on the TM6, which is in our modes, and it's the chop mode. So if we go swipe across to the mode screen, and there's one here. Now with the modes you can arrange them any way you like. So I've got the chop up the top, but you can actually just go edit view, and then you can I don't know if you can see that, but then you can move them around to wherever you want. I'm not going to move anything because I've actually got mine where I like, and chop. So I do enjoy this function. And then you do chop, and then it will come up with all these different options. So I want cheese, and it says cheese medium hard, for example, Gruyere, cheddar or Emmental. So I've got, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, I've got a little tiny bit of cheddar. I've got a block of Colby that I got on clearance, and I've got some Parmesan. So what I'm going to do is, it says put 70 to 300 grams of cheese cut into pieces 2 to 3 centimetres. And it says 5 to 14 seconds on speed 7. So I'm going to go set, and now it's, oh hang on, pull up. I need the scales. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So we're going to chop these up, and we're going to measure out I'll just see, up to 300 grams of cheese. I'm just going to have a look, make sure there's nothing in my mixing bowl, which there is not. Okay. I always have this fear that I'm going to chop up my measuring cup, or you know, my butterfly whisk or something like that, because I haven't checked in the bowl. How heavy was that to start with? 250 grams. So I might use half of this. So I find with cheese, as long as you don't touch it with your hands and you keep it closed, it doesn't tend to go mouldy. And I'm saying that, and then this is going to go mouldy, I just bet. There we go. So when you're chopping cheese, I find it's best if it comes straight out of the fridge and into the mixing bowl, and then you get a much better chop the colder it is. Some people even pop it in the freezer, but I've never done that. And some Parmesan. A little bit more, and that'll do. Rightio. I like to do a nice mix of cheese for pizzas, and so what I don't use, I will put in a bag in the freezer, and we'll use it later. So now we're going to put our lid on. Set. It's got 5 seconds, speed 7. So I'll do it for 5 seconds, and then I'll see if we need a bit more. Rightio, we're going to pop it on speed 7. Let's have a look. We'll see what that looks like and see if we need to chop it a bit more. Might give it another 5, or I'll just see how it goes, but I said 5 to 14. That was 3, but I reckon that sounds better. I once you've had your Thermomix for a while, you will hear the changes in sounds, which will tell you that it's reached the stage that you like. Rightio. I'll come back once I'm ready to start with the pizzas. We'll make the pizza dough together. I'll show you how I roll out my pizza bases, and then I'll show you my pizza stone. Rightio, I'll be back soon. So rightio, we're up to making the pizza dough, and I said I'd show you my pizza stone. Now this is really tiny, so we make just dinner plate size pizzas on this. So out of one recipe of the pizza dough in the basic cookbook, I get 4. So I'm going to show you this now because I'm going to put it into our, we've got an extremely cute little pizza oven. So I'm going to put it in there and I'm going to heat it up. So rightio, I shall put that in there and I'll be back and we'll make the dough. Okay, so we're ready to make our pizza dough. So I've saved the recipe into my week because I've planned what I'm cooking. So if I go into my week, we've got pizza dough. Rightio, we're going to start cooking. And we're going to start off by lightly grease a large bowl with oil and set aside. So I'm going to use my Thermomat instead of a bowl. Add 220 grams of lukewarm water. Now this is just water out of the hot water tap. Oops, a bit of tea of that. Okay, it is a little bit over, but that's okay. A teaspoon of sugar or malt powder, which is optional. I always find with a pizza dough, it does work out a lot better if I just add the teaspoon of sugar. Okay, and then we need 20 grams of crumbled fresh yeast or 2 teaspoons of your dried instant yeast. Okay, and now we're going to just give that, we'll activate that yeast. So we'll go 20 seconds on speed 2. So using the warm water gives us a little bit of a head start. And so we don't have to heat our water and our yeast up. Okay, now we're going to add the flour. Okay, so I always say, watch where you're putting the yeast because otherwise it'll end up on top of the blade, and that's what I've done. So I'm just going to get the spatula and flick that off. Oh, I think they're both over here. Alright, they're both over there on the drainer. See there, I've just flicked that off. Rightio, now we've got to add 400 grams of baker's flour. Grams of extra virgin olive oil. got nothing touching the bowl. A teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to put the lid on with the measuring cup. And we're going to knead it for 2 minutes. So I don't know if anyone noticed, but I grated cheese earlier and I didn't wash the bowl. I left a little bit of cheese that was in the, it was just a few crumbs of cheese. Because we're going to be putting that cheese on top of the pizza anyway. Oh yeah, so I don't know how many of you realise this, but I've got one of my grandsons lives next door. He's 5 and one of his favourite foods is pizza, and he likes meat pizza. So they're coming to tea tonight. So what I've got here is some pizza sauce that I've made in the Thermomix. I have got a recipe for that. I've made a video and I'll put that in the description box below. This here is sausage. So we buy sausages from the butcher shop, peel them, and then fry it up in a fry pan and crumble it. And then I freeze it, and that's really great on pizzas. We have some ham off the bone, which I've shredded, and we keep in the fridge, in the freezer. So I've defrosted some, and then we've got pepperoni. So he loves pepperoni. So I'm going for maximum brownie points tonight. Now I've said this before, when you're kneading dough in your Thermomix, you shouldn't walk away because it does bounce around a fair bit. If you have one of these glide boards from the mix shop, it does minimise how much it bounces around, but I still would not walk away. It can get quite jumpy and can quickly end up on the floor. Rightio, so we're going to go next, and now we're going to try and make a clean spot out of my mess. Rightio. Don't need the water anymore. So that is our pizza dough. And then when you want to get dough out of your Thermomix, you turn it upside down and you can just release the base and the blade will fall through with the dough and leave you with a fairly clean bowl. The pizza dough is particularly good. It's a nice firm dough that pulls off the blade, or elastic dough, would you say? That pulls off the dough off the blade quite easily. So what I do now is I will put this back together, and I'll use the pre-clean mode for the dough, with the dough, for the dough setting, but I won't do it quite now. I'll just put that back together, and that then it's just a quick rinse out and the bowl is clean. Rightio, so we've turned it into a ball. Now we're going to leave to prove for about an hour. So I will be back when I'm ready to assemble the pizzas. Right, I'll just show you this. So we've got, in our mixing bowl, we've got a litre of water, so there's just a mark on the inside. I think you can see it on the outside as well, where it says 1. It's on the inside as well, and that's a litre. So if you fill it up to that that mark, that's a litre. So I've got that in there, with 2 drops of dishwashing liquid. I've come across into my mode screen and I'm going to go pre-clean. And I'm going to put it on the dough setting. So we've got short wash, dough, universal, fat and caramel or browning. I do mainly use the universal, but the dough function is really good because it's a quick one. And then once we're done, we'll just rinse it off and rinse the bowl out, and then it's ready to go for the next thing. Rightio. And it'll tell me how long it's going to be. It says it's going to be approximately 6 minutes it'll take to rinse that. Rightio. I'll be back when I'm ready to start assembling the pizzas. Rightio, so we're ready to make the pizzas and start cooking. The dough has risen beautifully, and we're just going to divide it into 4 pieces. Okay, so you can't use a knife on this this Thermomat. So I've actually recently got this from the mix shop and I love it. It is absolutely perfect for chopping dough on your mat and not having to dirty your cutting board. So I'm just going to roughly divide it up into 4 pieces. And then I'm going to roll each one out on a little piece of lunch paper. And when I say roll, I don't actually mean roll, because I've recently discovered that you should never roll pizza dough out with a rolling pin. You should stretch it. You shouldn't handle it too much. What we're going to do is I'm going to make a circle out of all of these. Okay, I'm just going to push it out and then just about that far in from the edge, just encourage it out. So without squishing the actual side. So once you've got it like that, and then that you should have a little lump in the middle. And then if you just pull that, get your thumb there and pull that out. We're still without squishing the edge. About how big I want it, and also stays round a lot better than if you roll it out. I'm going to pop that on there. And I'm going to do the next one. I've actually found a bloke on YouTube, and he was throwing them up in the air, but he also said that you could do it like this, and I find that's a bit easier to manage. Now, I'm probably still not doing it very professionally, but it's definitely improved my pizza doughs, my pizza crusts. They're not quite so chewy. Okay. Now I can put that away. Freeze my pizza dough into ice cubes and then pull out 4 cubes of pizza dough for every pizza. Okay. Now I always put a little bit of sprinkle of cheese on top of the pizza sauce. I've just always found that sometimes your pizza sauce can be a bit watery and your fillings slide off. So I find if I just put a small sprinkle of cheese on top, it sort of sets it a bit prettier. This is sausage meat, and they're all going to be exactly the same. Okay, some ham. And then some pepperoni. Okay, these ones got lots of filling because that's how we like it. little bit more cheese on top. I don't put lots because remember we've already put some of that cheese on the bottom. Honey, I'll be back when they're out of the oven. Oh yeah. Okay, we've got our first pizza out of the oven. We always make it a bit early so that it cools down before the grandson gets here. So I'm going to chop it up. And we will have a little taste. Sounds like they're here.
Pizza!
Alright, so I'll just have a little bite. So you can see how much the crust puffs up when you don't roll it out with a rolling pin. This is absolutely delicious. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope I'll see you again next time. In the meantime, if you want to pop over to my channel and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. So thanks for watching.